now. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the doctoral hooding ceremony at Adelphi University. If you are able, please rise and remain standing for the university mace. Our Jewish chaplain, Rabbi Lipsker, the doctoral candidates and their faculty escorts, followed by members of our university faculty. The doctoral program directors, deans, and executive leadership of our university. the Provost of Adelphi University, Dr. Christopher Storm. The Chair of the Adelphi University Board of Trustees, Mark S. Strachan. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of Adelphi University, Dr. Christine M. Reardon.
Good afternoon. What a wonderful crowd we have here today. Welcome to all of the families, friends of Adelphi's 2023 Doctoral Hooding graduates. On behalf of the entire university and the Board of Trustees, candidates, we are so proud and happy to recognize your accomplishments today. I know it's been a very long journey, so we're not going to keep you waiting much longer. I would like for the audience to please remain standing for an invocation delivered by Rabbi Yankel Lipsker, followed by the national anthem sung by Adelphi student Brooke Beck.
A little boy is taking a walk with his dad and he says, "Dad, why is the sky blue?" Dad hadn't been the greatest student in school, so he says, "I don't know." "Dad, why is the grass green?" "I don't know." "Dad, why are the clouds white?" Starting to get a little uncomfortable here. He's like, "I don't know, buddy." "Dad, am I making you crazy, bothering you with all these questions?" He says, "Of course not, sweetheart. How else are you going to learn?" Congratulations, you've done it. Of course, there's always more to learn, but you've asked so many questions, you've discovered so many answers, you've reached the zenith of your education. You are our future leaders. You're gonna accomplish great things. Now, it's sometimes scary to hear that great things are expected of us. After all, how many of us are truly great people? It's easy to take a look at the world around us and say it's too far gone. How can little old me really make a difference? Civilization is so deeply divided. I remember reading a book as a kid where the mom advises her child that when the bad men come, the only thing you can really do is to turn around and face the wall, try not to see too much, and wait for it to be over. It's just not true. It's the easy way out. We absolutely can accomplish great change in this world, and not necessarily because we're great people, but because each of us is created in the image of God. We are divine. We are godly. Great change doesn't need to come about through amazing people with otherworldly talent. Take a look at Rosa Parks, Nellie Bly, Raoul Wallenberg. They effected great change, not with some hidden superpowers. They said there were pretty normal average people who said enough is enough. All it takes to really make a difference in this world is to look around and say, this is not okay. I'm not going to go along with this. We don't need to discover great talent. We're already godly. You don't need to be perfect to contribute to a perfect world. A perfect world is made up of a bunch of imperfect people doing their best. Let's get out there and do our best.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. I think you'll agree with me that Rabbi Lipsker delivered a meaningful set of words and Brooke delivered a beautiful national anthem. Thank you to both of them. I also want to say a quick thank you to our announcer, Kate McDowell, Professor Sidney Bocurin for his part in today's music, and our sign language interpreters, alumna Elizabeth Palladino and Stephanie Lewis. Thank you. You know, as I think about today, it makes me reflect on my own doctoral journey, and I think all of the graduates can agree that the path to achieving a doctoral degree is something that stays with you forever. From the sacrifices you made along the way to the research and knowledge that will define the rest of your career. I do think back to my doctoral journey often. I reflect on what I learned, and I think about the research that I used to inform my decisions today and the impact that I've had on others. But I also laugh. I laugh about the coffee-fueled nights, staying up until 4 a.m. trying to get that research article just perfect, which it never was, juggling my work, my family, my education, and just wondering if I was ever going to have normal sleep hours again. I know it's probably too soon, but give it some time, and I think you'll be able to laugh at the most challenging moments as well. You're going to realize that these moments, the challenging ones, are the moments that have made you stronger, more confident, and absolutely more grateful for what you've achieved. The people you've shared these moments with, your spouse, your children, your friends, your parents, your classmates, your colleagues, your faculty mentors, make it even more rewarding. This past summer, I had an opportunity to really think about my career, and I got a little nostalgic, and I reached out to all of my faculty mentors, my bosses, my colleagues, who supported me in my career journey, just to say thanks, and to say, I'm thinking about you today. It was a great set of conversations. Fast forward a few months later, and one of the most impactful mentors of my life passed away. I was so grateful that I had reached out and said thank you. So as you think about your journey, and as you continue your journey, always remember to say thank you along the way, and say it often to those people who have helped you get where you are. Back in 2016, right here in the Performing Arts Center, I gave a TEDx talk, Dare to be Extraordinary. Through my research in organizational behavior, I found that extraordinary people typically have 3 common traits: passion, courage, and resilience. In reaching today's milestone, you have all shown a true passion for your work and your upcoming work. You've displayed the courage to overcome the fears or worries that may have been holding you back from achieving this doctoral dream. And I'm sure you have been resilient in the face of every obstacle. You've all achieved something extraordinary today, and I challenge you to go out and strive for even more. Be extraordinary in your career and find the solutions that our world needs for the future. Be extraordinary in your life and keep up with the people that mean the most to you. and be extraordinary in our community and be the leaders that we need for the future. I'm so proud that you've shared this doctoral experience with us here at Adelphi, and I can't wait to see where you go next. Congratulations on all that you've accomplished. Will our family, friends, faculty, and staff please join me in recognizing these amazing graduates? And now, on behalf of our Board of Trustees, please welcome Board Chair Mark Strachan.
Ah, the day. Good afternoon. Okay, we can do a little better than that. Good afternoon. Thank you. Congratulations to all of the doctoral candidates, your families, friends, and loved ones. Today, you receive the highest honor in an academic community. Take a moment and let that sit in. The highest honor in an academic community. From this day forward, when that word doctor, that fabulous word doctor, is said before your name, you will be known as an expert, you will be known as a leader, you will be known as an outstanding scholar. You've put in the time, the energy, the sweat, the work, and yes, in many cases, the money to make it happen. You've earned an ounce of every respect that comes along with your new title. And like a true Panther, many of you did it this journey with stealth-like patience and perseverance. You had to find your way. You had to claw to the top. You had to, as Dr. Reardon said, zig when others zagged to make it through those research nights and those long days, etc. But you moved and you made it happen. And all the while, you've continued to work, you performed at the highest level, and you protected your pack. True Panthers. It takes a special kind of person to achieve this milestone. And we're proud to have you join the highest ranks of our alumni network. But you know what? It's been said a few times. Can't do this alone. Can't do it without a boatload of supporters. As a matter of fact, as the phrase goes, no one has ever earned a degree alone. And no one has ever learned a doctoral degree alone. So when I graduated from Adelphi in 1981, not as a doctor, work on that. I had a wonderful person by my side. Her name was Frances Fannie Mae Strachan, and she was my mother. She was my rock. And without her, along with the family members here, we don't get here. But there's some other people that join us on the way. So let's thank the families, faculty advisors, staff, whose guidance, love, patience, and critical knowledge help us achieve these levels of success. I wish you all the best in your next pursuits and hope that you will always continue to be part of this very strong and wonderful Adelphi family. It is a community. It is a place where people come to really engage in loving, respecting, learning, and being a part of something fabulous with each other. Share your knowledge, enjoy your pride. I am proud to be your chairman, and on behalf of my fellow trustees, congratulations, onward and upward. Peace be with you.
Thank you, Chair Strachan. As Chair Strachan mentioned, and I did as well, you can never say thank you often enough and soon enough. So I'd like to take a moment to recognize a few people in the room. First, I want to recognize the mentors who guided and supported all of our doctoral candidates. Faculty, would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you so much for the time and care that you took championing these exceptional scholarships, these exceptional scholars on this journey. Now, how about all of the loved ones that are in the room? I want you to also please stand. Please stand, everyone else in the audience, that's the rest of you. Whether it was taking a late night phone call, watching a kid having a shoulder to cry on, offering words of encouragement. I know our graduates are very thankful for all of your support. It is my pleasure now to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Jonathan Jackson. Dr. Jackson has enjoyed a long career in training and service in clinical psychology. He received his BA at Williams College and both his PhD and postdoctoral certificate in psychoanalysis and psychotherapy at New York University. He joined Adelphi in 1986, following 9 years of administrative and clinical service in public mental health. These experiences prepared him well to serve in his initial position at Adelphi as director of the Derner School's Center for Psychological Services. In his early years at Adelphi, he was also frequently called upon to manage university student and personal mental health emergencies. His position soon expanded to encompass the PhD program's Director of Clinical Training. In 2013, he created and became the founder of the Derner Internship Consortium, a full-time, final-year capstone clinical training experience for our PhD students. The internship was awarded accreditation by the American Psychological Association in 2015. He counts as his legacy, in addition to the approximately 800 students he had a role in training, supervising, and mentoring to become succeeding generations of clinical psychologists. Let me repeat that. Approximately 800 students that he had a role in training, supervising, and mentoring. Please help me welcome Dr. Jonathan Jackson.
Hello and thank you. Let me first extend a heartfelt welcome to the 2023 doctoral Hooding candidates of Adelphi University. Let us also give special thanks to President Reardon, Provost Storm, members of the Board of Trustees, the deans, chairpeople, faculty, administrators, and the indispensable staff, all of whom made this milestone day happen. We want to thank as well partners, friends, families of the doctoral graduates from the College of Nursing and Public Health, the School of Social Work, the Derner School of Psychology, and the Ruth S. Ammon School of Education. You have provided the necessary support, encouragement, patience, and love, which has made this joyous day possible. So, to be frank, I've never given or written one of these before. I've been at Adelphi for 30 plus years. I've prepared talks and spoken extemporaneously to large groups, but not a keynote address. But that's actually really okay, because it's nearly always the case that whatever you're doing, it's going to be for the first time in this moment and in this place. For you in particular, the degree of newness of your work-related challenges will vary, mercifully, from major to minor, but it's always novel if you can think of it that way. With these newer challenges, your newer challenges while in training, you may have had this internal commentary. I'm supposed to know what I'm doing, and I don't. And the accompanying thought, and I can't let anyone know. This is, I think, quite natural because, to put it simply, you are like it sometimes or not at other times. You are always a student. To be clear, I'm not talking about continuing education, CE units, and re-credentialing that you need to maintain your licenses. And I'm not referencing that very familiar professional value of commitment to lifelong learning. These matter, yes, but I'm talking about an attitude. There's an illustrative vignette about a teacher pouring a cup of tea for a student, and she pours it to the top and then keeps on pouring, overflowing. The student says, wait, what? What's happening? And the teacher explains that a full cup cannot receive anything. And maybe, odd as it sounds at this moment, as you conclude your student status and commence the actual work that you've labored to learn, a critical takeaway can be the ability to continually open yourselves to being a beginner. Maintaining a student's mind, put another way, to avoid the certainty, often mistaken for power, and have the confidence to stay unsure, perpetually curious, nurturing your love for the world. That's the gist of what I want to say to you today. But perhaps the idea, maintaining a student mind, sounds a bit abstract. Let's look at something specific. There's a physician named Atul Gawande. He's a surgeon, he's a public health advocate, writer, awardee of a MacArthur Genius Grant, and he was appointed by the Biden administration to lead global health initiatives at the US Agency for International Development. He created the famed Checklist Manifesto. It's a collection of low-tech procedures and practices for doctors to reduce medical errors and hospital-borne infections. Listen to this. He advocated for doctors to wear bow ties while on their hospital rounds instead of long neckties. Because neckties dangle, they brush against patients and their bedding and their wound dressings. And thus they carried and spread germs to other patients as doctors would travel from room to room. Bow ties preferred to neckties. Now that's genius. But what struck me about him even more than his inventiveness was what he described in an essay, The Coach in the Operating Room. He had reached what he called a plateau, a high and stable level of expertise, not a bad thing. In fact, it could be depicted as the peak of his performance. Despite this achievement, and despite the conceit that being an expert meant by its very definition, not needing a coach, or even being one himself, he decided to bring in a mentor, a distinguished older surgeon, to observe and critique the performance. You know, removing gallbladders, appendectomies, biopsies, things a general surgeon does routinely. This guy, this expert, he had all the respect and acclaim that he needed after 8 years of experience in the OR, but allowed that he might become even better. Conditioning the term expert on the idea of remaining uncertain about the state of his skills. He reported that he learned several new things, and by example illustrated the value of being a student, allowing, as it is said, that he did not know what he did not know. Learning comes not only from revered supervisors and mentors, but also those in the front line, the daily toil, hang out at a hospital nurses station, a hub of patient care, where the nurses, physicians, social workers, OTs, receptionists, administrative staff all congregate and see, for instance, how many tasks at how many different levels personnel perform minute to minute. Listen to them and they'll tell you what clinical information you can glean. A patient is not sleeping. A patient is depressed, not participating in treatment. In Derner's psychology clinic, I would confer with our coordinator, who was the first person to connect with prospective patients, with those in need. I'd gather a live sample, a cross-section of what was actually happening in the community, the stressors, social, economic, and otherwise, that pushed people's coping skills to the edge and brought them to care. A few short years ago, vaccinations were required to enter our clinic for services. What we learned, for example, about the reasons that people of color were wary about being vaccinated, the history of mistrust stemming from a dark past. It was unexpected and humbling. In my own practice, I attend a weekly peer supervision group where we review our implicit biases and other blind spots that might impinge application of our skills. It's humbling to hear what others see and what I don't. I'm continually reminded, funny word, suggesting you can be out of your mind one moment and re-inhabited the next. I'm continually reminded when I arrive at moments of understanding and see that I have not been at this particular place before. I've been nearby, circling in anticipation, but it's new again, once again. As the poet T.S. Eliot said, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. But you have trained long and hard to become people with expert knowledge. What place is there for not knowing among experts? Remember that early dread of feeling green while simultaneously having to comport with confidence? Nurture this doubting. Proceed with confidence, knowing full well it's borrowed. Allowing that there are things you do not know and do not know that you still do not know, but that your training and discipline will allow you to illuminate the way and reach for the shore of usefulness. T.S. Eliot goes on about arriving at the beginning. The beginning not known, but heard, half heard, discovered in the stillness between two waves of the sea. Actually, you're not required to know everything about what you are doing, just to have some pretty good ideas to launch. And if you can tolerate it, float among the waves of the sea, half knowing for at least a short while. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson, for your inspiring words. Let's give him another round of applause. Candidates, now is the moment you have been waiting for. We're going to move to the awarding of degrees and hoods. Provost Christopher Storm will present all candidates, and the program directors will preside over the hooding of the candidates.
The doctoral hooding marks the culmination of a uniquely challenging and enlightening intellectual journey for each doctoral candidate. It is a distinguished tradition in recognition of the ultimate scholarly accomplishment. We appreciate your help in preserving the dignity of this memorable ceremony throughout the announcement of each candidate's name. Recipients will please come forward as their names are called, accompanied by their advisor or other faculty member of their choice. The respective dean will join President Reardon, Chair Strachan, and me to greet the recipients of the doctoral degree. Candidates will then return to their seats.
Interim Dean Philip Rosario and Program Director Dr. Elizabeth Pali join Chair Strachan, President Reardon, and Provost Storm to greet the PhD candidates from the School of Social Work. Jamie Benavides Katsis, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Subhadra Panchanadiswaran. Ricky Demarakos, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Tae Kwon Kim. Heba Khalifa, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Ronnie Varghese. Shumack, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Ronnie Varghese. Santiago Martinez Jr., Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Carol Cohen. Katri Kluskens, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Elizabeth Pally. Siobhan Hamilton, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Elizabeth Pally. Associate Dean Chris Moran and Program Director Dr. Laura Brumariu join Chair Strachan, President Reardon, and Provost Storm to greet the Doctor of Philosophy candidates from the Gordon F. Derner School of Psychology. Matthew Briganti, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Joel Weinberger. Kevin Nissen, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Joel Weinberger. Alexa Wolpuff Tischler, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Joel Weinberger. Fernando Kraus, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Michael Moore. Sean Gogren, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Michael Moore. Wesley Gregory, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Michael Moore. Solomon Plonka, Director of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Michael Moore. Yosef Jacobs, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Michael Moore. Miriam Khalil Rahman, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Michael O'Loughlin. Juliana Genovese, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Kate Zemansky. Associate Dean Chris Moran will now join Program Director Dr. Laura Brumario. Christina McNur Kiernan, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Laura Brumario. Brittany McCullough, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Laura Brumario. Andrew Lokai, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Christopher Moran. Rachel Small, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Christopher Moran. Now joining Associate Dean Chris Moran is Dr. Gaston Weitz, to hood the Doctor of Psychology candidates from the Gordon F. Derner School of Psychology. Ashley Marie DeLuca, Doctor of Psychology, presented by Dr. Amelia Zarco. Anna Maya, Doctor of Psychology, presented by Dr. Christopher Moran. Danielle Narduzzi Cali, Doctor of Psychology, presented by Dr. Christopher Moran. Laura Dekoff, Doctor of Psychology, presented by Dr. Christopher Moran. Janaea Howell, Doctor of Psychology, presented by Dr. Christopher Moran. Jocelyn Tomlinson, Doctor of Psychology, presented by Dr. Christopher Moran. Christopher Wong Jr., Doctor of Psychology, presented by Dr. Christopher Moran. Amanda Luciano, Doctor of Psychology, presented by Dr. Gaston Weiss. Bianca Morrow, Doctor of Psychology, presented by Dr. Gaston Weiss. Simone Allen, Doctor of Psychology, presented by Dr. Nathan George. Anthula Vrionides, Doctor of Psychology, presented by Dr. Hannah Ettengoff. Dean Shalai Wang joins Chair Strachan, President Reardon, and Provost Storm to greet the doctoral candidates from the College of Education and Health Sciences. The Doctor of Audiology candidates will all be hooded by their program director, Dr. Eula Serpanos. Jasmine Butler, Doctor of Audiology, presented by Dr. Janet Shuflin. Ashley Donnelly, Doctor of Audiology, presented by Dr. Eula Serpanos. Natalie Grodecki, Doctor of Audiology, presented by Dr. Janet Shocklin. Lindsay Gross, Doctor of Audiology, presented by Dr. Eula Serpanos. Katerina Kim, Doctor of Audiology, presented by Dr. Janet Shocklin. Samantha Marcolini, Doctor of Audiology, presented by Dr. Eula Serpanos. Maria Santana, Doctor of Audiology, presented by Dr. Janet Shocklin. Nicole Talamo, Doctor of Audiology, presented by Dr. Eula Serpanos. Dean Deborah Hunt and Dr. Ewan Sun joined Chair Strachan, President Reardon, and Provost Storm to greet the Doctor of Philosophy candidates from the College of Nursing and Public Health. Kathleen DeMarco, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Karen Mancini. Valerie Esposito Kubanik, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. William Jacobowitz. Joy Scharfman, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Shan Liu. Lynn Anthony, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Yuan Sun. Renee McLeod Sorgen, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Yuan Sun. Luz Gargiulo, Doctor of Philosophy, presented by Dr. Yuan Sun.
Will the candidates for degrees please rise? Madam President, members of the Board of Trustees, all candidates who stand before me, and others who cannot be present, but whose achievement is being recorded officially by the university, having completed the requirements for their doctoral degrees, are herewith recommended by the faculty of Adelphi University for the award of their degrees.
There is one more part where I officially confer the degrees. Candidates, on the recommendation of the faculty thereof, Adelphi University confers upon you the degree for which you have been recommended, which entitles you to all the rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Congratulations, graduates. All right, I think we can do better than that. We've got some doctors in the house. Let's hear it. Okay, to the families and friends, I have one presidential mandate, that you call them doctor for an entire week and celebrate them for the entire week. Can you do that? Graduates, we are so very proud of you and we're celebrating with you. If you are able, I would like the rest of the audience to please stand. Brooke Beck will be leading us in our alma mater, followed by the benediction delivered by our Rabbi Lipsker. All should remain standing if you are able for our recessional. Thank you and congratulations.
Our alma mater true, we sing in loyalty. The glory of thy name shall e'er resound with honor, love, and hope that we have found. The truth shall make us free as we go on our way. Adelphi live forever, the brown and the gold for aye.
Congratulations, doctors, you made it. When you walk out those doors, a new chapter in your life will begin. King David writes that a person's steps are planned by God. Everything that will happen to you in your life, every person you meet, will be for a reason. Life, God, the universe will lead you exactly where you need to be, exactly when you need to be there. What you'll choose to do in any given situation, that's up to you. That's what we're held accountable for in the end, because that's ultimately all we can control. It's the only question that will matter in 60 or 70 years from now. What did you choose to do with the opportunities you were given? Did you turn around, face the wall, and try not to see any problems? Or did you make your corner of the world a little bit brighter? And God Almighty bless you and guide you on your journeys. I just want to close with a personal note. I recently discovered that the word idiocy comes from the ancient Greek meaning alone. I find it fascinating that the word we choose in English to mean foolish means to be alone. It's foolish to go alone. Togetherness is one of the most beautiful values we have here at Adelphi. It's in our very name. Adelphi means brothers or brotherhood. And we have a very family-like school here, from our small class sizes to the warm staff and teachers to the beautiful campus. And none of this happened on its own. It wasn't an accident. From Dr. Reardon and the Board of Trustees to facilities management and auxiliary services, there's a team of literally hundreds of people who put their heart and soul into making sure we have our beautiful family environment here. Now, family doesn't stop when you finish going to school. Family doesn't stop when you move across the country. Family is forever. We'll always have a warm place in our hearts for you. Remember, it's foolish to go alone. Stay in touch with each other. Please stay in touch with us. Visit when you can. We love you.